Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the What It Takes Radio Company. And today we present another one of our premier programs, which is the Transformation Project. And today it's about Harriet. That's right, Harriet the Moses. Indeed, a story of transformation. Let's see what that's all about. Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. This is Stan Houston, and we welcome you to the Friday edition, flowing into the weekend. Interesting ideas. Friday's Future Day. We think about the future. It's also Leadership Day, in which we think about what we should be as people who are trying to lead transformations and lead people into good and better places in our world today. We're back for the Transformation Project. My wife said to me the other day, she said, Stan, do you ever wear your hats when you're on your video program? I said, no, not really. She said, I wonder what that would be like. She said, I kind of like your white one, particularly in the summer. And of course, it keeps the sun off your bald head here in the summer. So maybe you should wear your white hat every once in a while and see if people like your hat. Well, I don't know how I feel about that. I do like hats. I've got cowboy hats, baseball caps, and a variety of different hats. And of course, my dermatologist always yells at me. If I come to him, he'll say to me, where's your hat, Stan? Remember, we don't want any of that skin cancer on your bald head. So I thought I'd just wear it as a little bit of a difference maker. Last week, we talked about the fact that music can help us in terms of, time, as friend Joe Pine said. And then we talked about place and the West Side Story. There's a place for us. Time, place, space, pace, where we can find a touch of grace. And so we want to be aware of timing. We want to be aware of placing. And then it flowed into the fact that after I did that program, my wife and I set out to discover what kind of film we'd like to see. And we just happened to see Harriet Tubman came by. And I said, wonder what that's about. Now, I'm a history teacher, and I taught American history for a number of years. And of course, I knew exactly Harriet Tubman was one of the premier leaders in the anti-slavery movement. She was an escaped slave and joined the Underground Railroad and was one of the premier persons. She was even called the Moses, as she then snuck back into the South and started freeing slaves, obviously a very dangerous profession. And so let's watch it. Well, let me tell you, it turned out to be an incredible experience. Now, the film is 5-6 years old, but I had never heard about it before. And I was deeply moved by it. And particularly, as you're going to find out, the very ending of the story had a real strong point of view and a meaning for me too, based on our past program. But here we go. Here's a little of the trailer for that film. And then I'd like to take just a few minutes to talk a little bit about what we might learn from it. Here we go. This is the trailer from Harriet Tubman.
Promised land, I'm gonna
There's not much time. You got to be miles away from here before dawn. Where is she? Follow that North Star. If there are no stars, just follow the river. Listen for them. Fear is your enemy. Whoa. Easy now.
I'm gonna be free or die.
I don't know if you know how extraordinary this is, but you have made it 100 miles to freedom all by yourself. Would you like to pick a new name to mark your freedom?
Harriet Tubman.
You are welcome here anytime.
If I'm free, my family should be too. I made up my mind, I'm going back. You're confident, composed. When trouble comes, you'll be ready.
Papers. Says here you're 5.5 feet tall. You ain't more than 5 feet.
Must have won my high boots that day.
Why you back here? It ain't safe.
I come to get you. Bring all of you to freedom.
Do you know what would happen if you got caught? You got lucky, Harriet.
I made it this far on my own, so don't you tell me what I can't do.
For the promised land, I'm gonna leave you.
Harriet, welcome to the Underground Railroad. Everybody, everywhere is looking for you.
God don't mean people to own people.
Find this thief and burn her at the stake.
Harriet!
I would give every last drop of blood in my veins until this monster called slavery is dead. Ready?
As I said, it was a deeply moving film, and I would really encourage you to see it. Obviously, she's a transforming person. She was transformed, and she performed incredible transforming acts. And you see the film, it is all the qualities that we oftentimes think of, but are not necessarily fully aware of in a person who is really fully transformed. You know, in the one scene, they're coming to get her. They're going to capture her, and she's probably going to get killed. And the only escape she has would be to jump into the river and probably drown. And she climbs in and she says, I will be free or I will die. And she jumps in. Miraculously, she didn't drown. She should have. And she pulls herself up and she makes her way, and finally makes her way into the free part of the world. And then all of the things that go into that adventure, the disappointment, she returns to have her husband come and join her. And she turns out that when she finally gets there, sneaks her and gets her, he thought she had drowned, and so he has remarried and is going to father a child. And she had risked her life to go back and get her husband. The cruelty of the slavery situation is so well documented, but some of the scenes of courage and confidence and difficulty are very powerfully portrayed. And I would really encourage you. And there's some incredibly good music. It's a well done film, and the acting is first class. So go to your Netflix or something similar and perhaps watch the film Harriet Tubman. Two things, maybe three, struck me. First of all, she was a woman of deep faith, and she had come to the point where she believed, and part of it may have been due to the fact that as a young woman, she was accidentally, a master threw a huge wrench at another person. It missed him and smacked her in the head, and she luckily was alive, but had difficulty and had sometimes fits and seizures all of her life. But it also seems that she believed that she would go into a spell, and she thought that God really spoke to her. She was very convinced that and there were times in her life where she just stood still. And then she was telling the people, "What are we going to do? What are we going to do?" And she would say, "God said, go this way." And that kind of what I'm a man of faith myself, but that kind of, you might say, positive fatalism, that things will be good, and having that deep sense that maybe there are some other realities, maybe transcendent and spiritual realities, which will go very powerfully into the person who is a transformed person and a transformation leader. You also discover, of course, the incredible courage. To be a transformed person oftentimes means you go through great struggle and deep difficulty. Being a transformer could be really dangerous and difficult and certainly scary work. Uh, be bold, be brave, be strong, or be gone. Be bold, be brave, be strong, or when it comes to transformation, be gone. And then finally, at the very end, they went through, after the slavery thing, she went through the fact that she still had to make a living. She was very active in the suffragist movement, very much obviously in helping the freed slaves and the work they did. And she finally got a pension that helped her in her later days, because she actually finally qualified for a pension from the Union Army, because she had actually led a revolt of slaves, and she had actually been a spy and paid that dangerous price for that. When they went through it, it mentioned that she died at approximately 91, being a slave, who knows exactly, in 1913. And it's reported by all the sources that her last words was a quotation from Scripture, words of Jesus, which is, "I have prepared a place for you. I have prepared a place for you." And those were her final words. And remember, last week we talked about the power of the place. And I think some of us need to remember that could be what we're all about. The old Quaker song, which I've used all the time, it's a gift to be simple. It's a gift to be free. It's a gift to come down where we ought to be. And when we come down in the place just right, we'll be in the valley of love and delight. Where's your place? Where's your pace? Where is there a touch of grace? Look very much into your own life. As she demonstrated, transformation comes from the person who really does the work of knowing who they are, perhaps what they are called for, and what their deep, deep purpose is. We're going to be talking about Eric Liddell, who made the comment, it's his 100th anniversary of when he won that race from Chariots of Fire. We'll talk about that in another program. In effect saying, and when I run, I feel God's pleasure. What are you doing when you feel the pleasure? When you're in the right place, in the right space, and you're feeling the pleasure? It could be a dangerous place, but it could be that even then, you're not afraid. Those are just some thoughts from the top of my head. Thank you for your time. Please reach out to us, stanhouston@gmail.com, stanhouston@gmail.com, and let us know. We are continuing to work with Joe, Transformation Book, Substack, Transformation Book, and perhaps sign up for being part of the process of helping to contribute to the writing of the book on the Transformation Project. Thank you for your time. All the best and blessings to you. We'll be back in the right place, hopefully. Till that time, all the best to you, and bye for now.